You're tuned into Balanced Life. Your Balanced Life podcast with Dr. Chris Biles, a space for people who want more energy, better recovery, calmer days, and long-term health without the hype or confusion. Here, we talk about nutrition, fitness, stress, habits, hormones, and everyday wellness in a way that feels practical, supportive, and real-life focused. Because supplements aren't the goal, your lifestyle, your strength, and your well-being are. This is about intentional health and a life lived in balance. Welcome to a balanced life. Welcome to a balanced life.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Balanced Life podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Chris Biles, in full effect, in the place to be. Hope you're happy to be here, just like I'm happy to be here. Welcome back. I have to apologize about the lateness of this week's podcast. I think I mentioned that we're in the middle of moving, and actually we're just finally finished the moving process. So if you ever moved, guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It sucks. I do not like it. So we are officially 100% moved into our new place. Took us a minute to get everything done. What I would recommend, please get good movers, because the movers we had were awful. That's why we had to do it so many times. We had to go back, get stuff, and unfortunately we do have a lot of stuff, so it did take a little bit longer than we expected it. So today's podcast is going out today on Sunday, and if you were waiting for it, you missed it, I apologize, but that's what we had to do. Okay, so again, welcome back, and I hope you're having a great week. All right. So as we dive into today's topic, we've been talking quite a bit about a lot about health, a lot of stuff, guys, and I hope some information that we've been covering has been helpful for you. Right. I hope you've been getting a lot out of it. I know I have, and because I do love sharing this information to anybody that's willing to listen. Excuse me, got a little bit in my mustache there. But let's get right into it. Today we're going to explore a lot of different things, guys. We've been talking about a lot of habits. We talking about the science and the mindset shifts, and how to help us live with more intention and vitality in our life. Last week, if you remember last week and you enjoyed it, we did talk about vitamin absorption, why nutrients are actually not making it to our bloodstream, because there's certain issues that might be causing that. Today we're going to build a little bit more on that foundation, and we're going to be talking about metabolic health. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about metabolic health. This is something that's kind of thrown around loosely without any type of good understanding about it, and we're going to dive right into it. Okay, so let's settle in, take a breath, and let's get right into it. All right. So what metabolic health really means. All right. Let's start with the basics. The basics are, when people hear metabolism, they often think about weight, right? They think about, you heard about if you have a fast metabolism, slow metabolism, right? Calories in, calories out. You probably heard about that. But metabolism is much bigger than that. Okay. Our metabolism is so much essential for body's energy management. It's the energy system, basically, right? It's how your body converts food into fuel. All right, how it stores that fuel and how efficiently it uses that fuel. Okay. So when we have good metabolic health, we have stable energy throughout the day, right? Especially if you get proper sleep, that's a big thing. So many times, I don't have great energy throughout the day. Well, how much sleep are you getting? Right. It's very important to get the proper amount of sleep. I know life is, lives, right? And we want to do it as much as we possibly can, but our body really depends on proper sleep, right? But beyond that, even if you are getting the proper sleep, you do want to have, for good metabolic health, you want to have good, stable energy throughout the day. You want to have balanced blood sugar, right? For those who are diabetic, you understand that's a problem. You want to have healthy hormone signaling. You want to have better sleep, right? Just because you're going to sleep doesn't mean that you're actually getting good quality sleep. You want to have better sleep. Fewer cravings. I'm huge on this one, guys. I'm terrible with this one because I I will be craving. I have a sweet tooth, right? So even after a meal, unless I have good protein in my meals, right? But even after that, sometimes it's like it's kind of one of those things, right? When you think about it, we've been conditioned for so long to after we have our dinner, dessert follows, right? So maybe that's part where my problem is with my conditioning that I've been conditioned for all these years, right? I expect it, but if your metabolic health is really on top, really prime, then you're going to have fewer cravings. Okay. And then also the last thing for this, if you to have good metabolic health, that means you have long-term protection against chronic diseases. And that's really what we want to enjoy. We want to have good protection, long-term protection from chronic disease as much as possible. And we really need to do is everything we possibly can to make sure that that's us, right? That we are protecting ourselves against chronic disease and no chronic disease in our life, those type of things, right? Now, on the flip side, poor metabolic health can show up as afternoon crashes, right? You may have you may sleep well and then you needed a nap throughout the day or what have you. Now, some of these things, afternoon crashes, you could feel that way depending on the type of meal you had or didn't have for your breakfast or to start your day. That could be another indication, but this is primarily the what it means to if you don't have good if you have poor metabolic health, right? Afternoon crashes, brain fog is another thing. Constant hunger, okay? Irritability, right? Not just I talked about this last week. When we're not getting good nutrition, sometimes we're irritable, okay? Trouble sleeping, weight changes, constant weight changes, body's up and down, right? Not understanding what it is, no matter what we do in our everyday life, right? We're having problems with our weight changes, our weight, okay? And lastly, you feel like your body is working against you. So with all these, we really want to try and focus on the best way possible, right, to fix these issues, fix these things that we're noticing in our life. If you notice these things, again, I am all about going to seek help if you're not able to do this on your own, right? And before I continue with everything I'm about to say today, this information is for educational purposes only. By no means is it constitute any type of medical advice whatsoever. If you need any type of medical help whatsoever, please go seek a physician as soon as possible, especially even if you go look for a naturopathic doctor. Okay. With that being said, we're right back into this. Okay. So the biggest kicker, honestly, let me adjust my camera a little bit. The biggest kicker, honestly, oops, sorry. I should have had this fixed before I started. There we go. Boom. All right. The biggest kicker, honestly, guys, is that many people don't realize that their metabolism is struggling until symptoms pile up. Okay. There are so many different ways that you can know if your symptoms are piling up, right? But I gave you some of these symptoms. Maybe these symptoms are you're experiencing all of them, right? You want to, if we can, try to attack these before the symptoms get out of hand, before you start experiencing a lot of symptoms, okay? That is really what we want to do. You want to be on top of your health. Remember, guys, we only get one body. We only really our health is we should really be holding on to our health as much as possible, not just letting it go, okay? So that's what we're here to talk about today. That's one of the things that we need to really try to focus on as best possible as we can if we want to live long term. If we want to experience long-term health without chronic diseases, those type of things, then I highly urge you to make sure that you are on top of it. Okay. So now, why is metabolic health trending today? Like, this is actually a topic that many people are asking for. It's trending throughout the world. And so why is this topic suddenly everywhere? Why is that? Right? There's a few reasons. Okay. First is a continuous glucose monitors. Right. Glucose monitors, you've seen them, right? They're in place of pricking your finger if you have blood sugar issues, if you're diabetic, right? But these continuous glucose monitors, or CGMs, they have gone mainstream. They're all over the place, right? There, you can even look on Facebook right now. There's a guy from Canada, and I love his stuff, right? I don't remember his name. I love his stuff, but there's a guy that actually goes on there. He'll show what certain foods does to his blood sugar, and he's the glucose monitor, right? These go mainstream. With this, people are seeing real-time data about how their body responds to food, stress, and sleep, right? And it's eye-opening. It's really eye-opening, right? Now you have a surefire way to understand what is going on with your body every moment of the day, okay? Second reason why it's trending, creators and researchers are talking about metabolic flexibility, okay? Your body's ability to switch between burning carbs and burning fat, right? Burning carbs and burning fat, okay? That's where keto come in. Keto is about burning fat. Carbs, good source of energy. Sometimes it's what is going to be burnt first, right? So when you're metabolically flexible, you feel steady. When you're not, you feel like you're on a roller coaster, okay? So we want to have that steady state at all times, right? We don't want to be too far out of balance and too low, too high. Everything wants to be in that steady state as much as possible, okay? And third, people are tired of quick fixes. They want sustainable energy, better mood, and long-term health, not just weight loss. I think we've ran, and I mentioned this before, as somebody in this industry, I despise where the fitness industry has gone, okay? I despise it. People are tired of the quick fixes. People are tired of hearing about just weight loss. That's why the body positivity movement picked up. But then now that they have these certain drugs to help these people with their issues, right? Because you think about it, in the long run, your health is so important that we want to be, we got to be healthy. We need to be healthy. Our body wants to be healthy, right? And we've come down into a dead end, so to speak, with the health industry, with our food, where people are looking for the quick fixes, right? We've always looked at the quick fixes, right? That's where people go and take steroids, these type of things. People always look for the quick fixes because going through the work, it sucks. Okay, let's just be honest. It's a journey. It sucks, right? But I will say this: when you go through the journey, right? Listen, when you go through the journey and you actually succeed in your journey, it's so much more rewarding when you achieve your goal. Okay. If you've built something, if you've started a business, if you've gone to school and graduated school, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. There is no quick fixes in life. And unfortunately, when certain things come out as quick fixes or easy ways to help you lose weight or what have you, there's sometimes some unnecessary side effects that come up that are attached to those things. That's all I'm going to say. Look, there's a documentary on Netflix right now about the world's biggest loser. The way they did the biggest loser, I think it was. But anyway, that if you never watched that documentary, that was an eye opener, and I was actually sickened by some of the things I saw on that documentary, especially to see that a lot of those contestants, because of the way they went through that regimen, they put them through that, they was not able to sustain that for a long period of time. Many people have gained all the weight back that they lost very unhealthily, right? From the weight loss that they experienced on that journey. And to now, some of them just have gone to the GLPs, those type of things. And because we try to go through just weight loss and not teaching people about health, we try to give people want the quick fix. People don't want to. A lot of people don't want to change. I hate to say this, but it's being real with you guys. A lot of people don't want to change. People like what they see, like what they do, and that's why we're seeing an influx in certain things like mukbanging online and those type of things. But it's all unhealthy. We got to really get our metabolic health under control. And I really think that if we focus more so on getting our metabolic health under control and not worrying about weight loss altogether, you'll see it so much different. You'll see a lot of difference, right? It's not about a quick little fix. It's not a magic pill or a magic diet that's going to work. You got to think too. Many people, not all, but many people that use those drugs, they experience the weight loss, yes, but some of them are starting to experience a lot of ridiculous side effects. There's been people that have done the lap band surgeries and those type of things, and even we call it the liposuction. If you don't change the mentality here, or if you don't change and get a nutritionist or understand how to properly eat and not going out to eat at these restaurants and these type of things, you're cooking from home. If you're not understanding how to do these things, you're not changing anything. You're just going through under the knife, going through to get the surgery, going to talk to the doctor, getting the pill, getting the quick fix, but it doesn't change the mentality. It doesn't change the mentality. So you can't what happens many times, people come out of those situations. Yes, they lost the weight, but their mentality hasn't changed, and sometimes they go right back to it. So we want to, my goal is for people to be able to understand more about the metabolic health, focus on that, focus on maybe I got food allergies, what have you, those type of things, focus on proper lifting, eating the right amount of protein, exercising, putting on muscle, right? And that is really what we need to focus on. Okay, that's just my soapbox and my 2 cents about it. Okay, we need to fix these things. Okay, so metabolic health is the bridge between how we feel today and how we want to feel decades from now. Okay, the metabolic health is so important. Kidneys, every single part of our body is very important. And unfortunately, what happens when we do so much damage to our bodies, where some of the stuff is self-inflicted, right? There are cases where people have no control over what happens with their bodies because of what have you, right? Maybe it's hereditary, maybe they're, right? Something happens, what have you, whatever, right? But that's not 100% of the cases out there. There's certain things that when we do so much to our body can handle it for so long. And then eventually the body says, you know what? Screw you. This is what you got now, right? Sicknesses are a lot of the cases with these things. So I'm saying this to say that we want to make sure that I think all of us should be focused on our metabolic health, our overall health. And again, not just for now, not just to look good, but how we feel decades into the future, right? Because I'm sure that none of us we all want to live long, healthy lives. Long life has its place. Living a long life, right, it's short anyway, right? This life is short anyway. But leaving this earth too early, right, because of what we've done to our bodies, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Okay. And I really wish that we would do more to really promote overall health as much as possible. Right. I hate hearing this excuse. Oh, we got to die from something. Yeah. But let's take care of our body now. That way, when we don't have to get diagnosed with something horrific. Then now when we're going to be trying to, go to the doctor for the doctor to keep us alive. Okay. Right. But let me let me stop there. All right. So again, metabolic health is the bridge between how we feel today and how we want to feel decades from now. Okay. So let's look at some signs on your metabolic health actually needing some support. Okay. Now let's talk about some subtle signs your metabolism might be asking for help. Okay, some subtle signs. You wake up tired even after a full night's sleep. Again, when I'm telling you, these little signs I'm giving you doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is, but I think that it should be looked at to like let me look at this. Let me go and see, right? If I got so many signs, right? So you get hangry easily. For those who don't know what hangry means, when you get hungry, you get angry, hangry. Okay. You get hangry easily. You crash after meals, right? Food, like I talked to you before, food is your fuel. That's all food is fuel. And especially if we're eating proper nutrition, our fuel should not run out of our body that fast. That's a crash, right? So if you crash after your meals, it could be your metabolism needing some support. Okay. You crave sugar or caffeine in the afternoon. If you get a good night's sleep and you eat a good breakfast, you shouldn't need caffeine in the afternoon. Like I do, I like craft caffeine. I like having a good cup of coffee. There's nothing like a good cup of coffee. I can have a good cup of coffee and go right to sleep even with the caffeine, right? So I don't need the coffee. I've gone months and months without having it and then come back to it. So, but if you crave sugar or caffeine in the afternoon, that could mean a metabolism issue. You feel puffy or inflamed. If inflammation is all in your body, it's it's what it is, right? Inflammation is a bad thing that we don't want to have in our joints and everything. That's why there's certain foods out there like turmeric that actually helps with inflammation or supports inflammation. But feeling puffy or inflamed could mean a metabolism issue. You struggle to focus, right? Now, we've been force fed ADD and ADHD for all these different years, but it could be the fact that we just have so much energy to burn, and we need to burn that energy off. But anyway, you struggle to focus, okay? Or you feel stressed even when nothing stressful is happening. Have you ever felt stressed when nothing stressful is even happening? It's been a long time that I've felt that. I can honestly say that now I do not feel stressed. Just generally, I don't. Stressful things happen, but if your face is with everything that's going on in the world right now, if you're stuck on the news, you're stuck watching the stuff that's out there, you're gonna be stressed anyway. So, what I would say, turn that TV off for a while, right? Do something else that's not going to cause you stress, because if you've never heard the saying, stress does kill, and if there was never a truer saying in the world, stress does kill. So why put yourself through stress that's going to be messing with your metabolism? It's going to be messing with your hormones, cortisol levels, those type of things. It's a real thing. And unfortunately, women have been known to stress a lot more than men. Just what it is, what have you. If I can say anything to the ladies out there, the men out there, stop stressing. If you got to do anything, turn off the TV, take some of your power back. Don't watch the news. Who cares about what's going on in the news? As long as you're able to take care of your family. But life is stressful enough for them to add extra stress to your life that you're causing yourself to be sick. And being stressed, and come on now, seriously. There are people out there that are in control of the television, control of what we watch, that know these things. But let me stop there. Okay, so really let's try and control how much stress that's happening in your body, even when there's nothing stressful happening. You could be at work and you're just stressful, okay? Stress is one of those things that are really going to jack you up. So avoid it as much as you possibly can, especially for high blood pressure or your heart health, all those type of things. Stress, only need a little bit of stress. Exercise is a great stressor. It is a stress, so to speak. Exercise is a great stress, but you're not living in that for all day long, right? The other stresses, like I talked about this before a few weeks back, the fight or flight mechanism, people that are constantly fighting and flying and all the good stuff, they're constantly in that mode. You are going to have problems if you constantly stay in that mode. Okay. So please leave that stress alone. Okay. But as you see those signs that metabolism needs support, remember, these aren't moral failings, right? I'm not saying any of this stuff to say that it is a failure on your part. It's just something that maybe you take too much in. Maybe you are you wear your heart in your sleeve. I don't know. They're just signals, okay? They're signals. Your body is communicating to you. And the worst thing we can do as humans is to ignore when our body is communicating with us. Okay. It's like the alarm that goes off, right? And you have those alarms that go off. And in the beginning, they go off and they're really quiet, right? Because they want to slightly wake you up. And then at some point, it's this blaring alarm until you actually hit snooze. You turn the alarm off, right? That's these signals that I'm giving you is your body's way of letting you know and warning you. Maybe they might be a sudden like, oh man, I feel a little puffy today, right? And that's your silent alarm. But then it gets worse and worse and worse. And so we want to try and understand that we can so that we can make the necessary changes, right? Make the necessary changes. Changes that have to be made don't happen overnight. And again, we talked about this in the beginning of this. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. And changes don't happen overnight. They take some time to happen. Okay. So we're going to talk about ways to make those changes happen after this break. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. You know who our sponsors is, Balanced Life Supplements. We'll see what they have for us today. And when we return, we'll get back into how we can support our metabolic health. We'll be back right after these messages.
Running on empty, stuck in the grind. Muscles are aching, I'm losing my mind. Water's not hitting, I'm still feeling drained. Until I found something that has rewired my brain. BalanceLifeSubs.com. Yeah. Balance electrolyte complex, clean to the core, no crash, no junk, just minerals and more. I sip it post with the wind, life hits too hard. It's fuel for the system like flipping the card. Balanced electrolyte complex. Supplements. I'm in recharge mode with Balanced Electrolyte Complex at Balanced Life Subs.
All right, welcome back to a Balanced Life podcast. I am your host, Dr. Chris Biles. You know who I am. Your boy in the place to be, giving you some information about your metabolic health. All right. So let's get practical. Okay. You don't need a glucose monitor. You don't need a complicated routine to support your metabolism. Small, consistent habits make huge differences. Okay, so let's start with number one. So if I had any recommendation for you, I think the first thing I would say to you is to start your day with protein. I would say 100% you want to start your day with protein. There's many reasons why you want to do that, right? It's not just for putting on muscle and losing weight. Protein is great for that. But if you start your day with protein, what's going to happen is protein is going to stabilize your blood sugar and reduce your cravings later. Okay, ladies. I've talked to so many women so far in these last 15 years with the women I've worked with. You people, sorry, you guys don't like to eat protein, right? Don't have to worry about that a lot with men. But women do not like to eat protein. God, ladies, eat your protein, okay? Start your day with protein. Increase your protein. Get over 100 grams of protein a day, right? If you're 120 pounds, whatever your weight is, you should be getting over 100 grams of protein a day, right? And if you start your day with protein, you can have yogurt, you can have meat, you can have, there's vegetarian protein out there, what have you. But again, start your day with protein because we're going to try to reduce your cravings later and stabilize your blood sugar. Okay. Number two, move after your meals. Movement is key. If you haven't heard anything I've said the last 12 episodes, or however many it's been now, you have to move, right? And the next episode, we're going to talk about actual exercises. You know, I think I've We're going to talk about exercising. I actually held on to that for a little bit too long. We're going to talk about that, okay? So a 10-minute walk, something simple as a 10-minute walk can significantly reduce your blood sugar spikes. Again, we're trying to reduce blood sugar spikes. You don't need a glucose monitor. If you go for a walk after a big meal, boom, you're going to reduce those blood sugar spikes. It's just the way it is. Movement is going to be key for you, right? So again, we live so sedentary nowadays. And remember, I talked about the sitting disease a couple weeks ago. We sit so much nowadays that it's actually hindering us. It's harming us. So start your day with protein, move after your meals. Number 3, prioritize fiber, right? I don't care if it's fiber with the form of vegetables or fruit, or if you take a powder, right? Balanced Life Supplements has a great fiber that's tasteless, right? That you throw in your coffee, you throw it in your water, you throw it in your drink, you throw it in your smoothie throughout the day, what have you. And it's going to help you slow your digestion. It's going to help feed your gut microbiome and support steady energy. Okay? Fiber, right? Fiber. If you're not regular, you got a problem. If you're pooping every 3 days or what have you, ladies and gentlemen, please take that as a warning, right? We don't want to be backed up with all this poop. Go use the you got to use the bathroom. So get you some fiber and help with that. It's going to help a lot of different things too. Fiber is also great for those who have PCOS, right? It's been shown, right? It's been shown to support people with PCOS. Balance your plate. Balance your plate, right? There are tools out there to help you balance your plate, but think protein, fiber, healthy fats, and slow carbs. Protein, fiber, healthy fats, and slow carbs. That's it. Not processed foods, not processed sugars, none of that stuff, that garbage that we go get ready quick meals. And with that saying, balance your plate, what I would say, guys, stop eating out as much as possible. If you're going to eat out, let it be a treat every once in a while. And then as you're let me look at you in the camera. Let me look at you again. Stop eating out. And if you need to eat out once in a blue moon, maybe once or twice a month max, right? And when you at the restaurant and you're eating out, make sure you're trying to stay with that whole thing about the diet. Protein, fiber, healthy fats, and slow carbs. Slow carbs are your sweet potatoes, right? Your whole grain pastas. These things not going to spike your energy up and then make you crash later on. You have to really focus on these things. So if I have never said anything else to you before, I'm saying this now. I would try to meal prep as much as possible. Try to meal prep and try not to eat out as much. Here's the thing. I don't get. There's a lot of people out there that because I check out social media, right? You know, just because I'm old don't mean I don't. I check out social media, right? And it tickles me. It tickles me. I don't understand it when I see people complain about not having enough money or things being very expensive out there, and they're eating out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week. That's expensive. Okay, especially in today's life. Go out there, spend that same amount of money that you spend for 4 meals out and buy you a couple weeks worth of groceries and cook. If you don't know how to cook, there's no excuse for you. If I had to be your advisor, there's no excuse that you. And nowadays, I've fixed cars with YouTube and without any type of mechanic experience. There's no excuse for you. So if I could fix a car, if I could change sensors in a car or change my brakes or whatever with watching YouTube videos, you can definitely find a meal that you like, and you want to cook and work on it, right? Cooking, like anything else, takes practice, and there are so many cooking shows out there that is no excuse right now. So if you have excuses, I'm taking them away from you. There's no excuses. Take that away. Pack that up, okay? All right. So number 5, right? Manage your stress. I just talked to you about that right before the break. Cortisol spikes can raise blood sugar even without food. I don't know if I need to say that again. Let me say that again. Cortisol spikes your blood sugar even if you've had no food, right? So your stress can raise your blood sugar. For those of you out there who are dealing with high blood sugar, if you're dealing with diabetes, those type of things, if you're stressed out, your cortisol levels can raise your blood sugar even without having food. So let's focus on breathing exercises, stretching, or simple pushing. Simply pushing can help, right? Not pushing. Pausing can help. So take a moment, like I said, turn the daggone TV off. Turn off anything that's causing you to stress out. It's ridiculous right now. For those of you who are stressed out about who's in the White House, get over it. It's been a year. You're going to kill yourself in 3 years because you're stressing yourself out. Take a break from it. Take a freaking break from it. Okay? There's so much stuff out there for you to do with your time and with your life. Stop it. And as quiet as it's kept, the powers that be will continue with their plans, whether you like it, know about it, or not. It makes no sense for you to kill yourself over stress. So, what I would recommend, turning off the TV, doing something else, go for a drive, go to the lake, go camping, right? Camping is fairly inexpensive. I think it's some places you can go depending on where you're at, $10 a day. Go take it a weekend, go camping, unplug from the world. If you're religious, pray. But you need to manage your stress. Play some music, sing at the top of your lungs in your car, in your bathroom when you're taking a shower. I don't care what you do. But why are you stressing so much? Okay? So manage your stress. That's number 5. Number 6, sleep like it matters. Because it does. Sleep like it matters. Poor sleep disrupts your hunger hormones and metabolic function. There's a hormone that we have in our body that if we don't get enough sleep, we're constantly wanting to eat and snack. So I understand there's some jobs out there that people have, whether it's a truck driver, what have you, people working overnight. But just know that when you work like that, your body, the hormones in your body is disrupted, and it's hard for you to manage your weight and your eating and all this type of stuff because your body's confused. The body goes by the sun and everything, right? We have what's called a circadian rhythm. And so when the sun goes down at a certain time, our body starts wanting to go into sleep mode. And if we're keeping it up, the body is like, what the heck is going on? Why are you doing this to me? And so then you experience all these different symptoms, these different issues. Okay. So sleep like it matters. Poor sleep disrupts your hunger hormones and metabolic function. Boom. Okay. And number 7, hydrate consistently. Even mild dehydration can make you feel tired and hungry. So if you've ever felt hungry, drink some water, see if that helps. You don't need to go eat some food. You could be thirsty, right? So now again, these aren't trends. I'm not giving you anything that's a trend. They're just foundational habits that can support body's natural rhythm. Our body has a natural rhythm, whether you want to believe it or not. You can do whatever you want to do. We all have free will. The creator of all that exists gave us all free will to do whether we want to, whatever. We want to destroy our body. If we want to be in harmony with our body, you have that right. You have that choice. Boom, right? It's yours. But don't be surprised when the body rebels when you do certain things to your body. When you're in harmony with your body, the body does not rebel. But when you are out of harmony, you're in disharmony with your body, the body's like, screw you, dude. Seriously. Have you really think you have that much control, right? Case in point, Have you ever been someplace and you thought you was trying to stay awake to watch something and your body just says, nope, you sleep. The next day, it morning, you don't know how you fell asleep. You have no control. Or let's say you got to take a number 2, you got to poop. It always happens at the wrong time. I've had to go do number 2 in the gym right when I was in the middle of lifting weights. Like, whoa, that's not, nope, got to go. Had to run out from the set to go and go handle my business, and I don't like it. But again, I have no control. You really think we don't have that much control over that? Not unless you don't eat. But again, what happens if you don't eat? Your body's gonna, it's only a certain amount of time that your body's gonna be happy with that. Okay, so again, these are not trends. These are foundational habits to support your body's natural rhythm. Okay, so here's the truth. All right, metabolic health isn't about perfection, right? It's about awareness. Nothing about this walk, nothing about your health journey, nothing about it is about perfection. It's about consistency and awareness. Are you aware when your body's out of harmony? Are you aware of this? If you're not aware of this, then I would say listen to stuff like this. Do your own research. You should be your own scientist. You need to listen to your body when your body is saying certain things. It's like when you injure yourself, your body lets you know by sending a signal to your brain, ouch, that hurts. Your body's sending signals subtly to your body, to your brain, when other things are going on. Okay? So listen to your body, right? It's not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about noticing how your body responds to certain foods, routines, and stressors, and making the small adjustments that help you feel more grounded and energized. Don't just keep doing something over and over again, right? Maybe your body doesn't respond. If you knew your body was allergic to peanuts, are you going to keep eating peanuts? It's the same thing. Your body is letting you know things, right? And only you know what that is. Okay? Only you know what that is. I can't tell you, but I'm giving you some type of information so you can see, like, yeah, maybe I need to listen to that gray-haired nut. Okay? It's about noticing how your body responds to certain foods, routines, and stresses, and making small adjustments. When you understand your metabolism, you understand yourself on a deeper level. You ever heard people say, I know my body? Boom. You understand your metabolism, you understand yourself on a deeper level. You start making choices that feel aligned rather than forced. Okay? And that's what that's what honestly a balanced life is all about. All right, guys. With that being said, I appreciate your time. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you whatsoever, share it with your friends. Share it with someone who's been curious about the metabolic health or who's been feeling a little off lately. Okay. Next week, let me give you a little quick dive into next week. Next week, we're talking about one of my favorite topics in the entire world. We're talking about weight training. We're talking about building muscle. And trust me, you won't want to miss this one. All right. Until then, take care of yourself, stay curious, and keep building your balanced life. All right.
Thanks for listening to A Balanced Life with your host, Dr. Chris Biles.
Take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit.
Keep moving forward. See you next time.